In the last video, I shared with you guys the experience of the blitz I did, testing out whether or not I could recruit sales reps and use them in the field to generate more window cleaning jobs. In this video, I'm gonna show you everything I did to scale my team and make my first $350,000 in 5 months, step by step, every single thing I did in order to get there. The first thing I did was in the off season that winter, I began to plan ahead and organically begin to recruit these sales reps. Young guys, 17, 18-year-olds, juniors, seniors in high school, a couple of young men in their early 20s. I began to plant the seed, hey, I'm gonna make a couple $100 a day. This is what we do, this is how we do it, we have a great team environment. I began to plant seeds and kind of foster organic relationships to make them kind of see the value and behind what we do. They can try something different that's actually a kind of a fun resume builder and provide like real world experience in sales and talking to people. We slowly began to put the puzzle pieces of the team together before the early springtime season hit. Once the team was in place and ready to get going, I started mapping out logistically all of the areas we were gonna knock, all the routes, the streets, who was assigned to which neighborhood, where they'd be knocking. We'd walk through the streets on Google Maps. We'd have the information on like the affluency of the area and our ideal target avatar customer and things like that. I made sure that we had a CRM system where they could keep track of all their KPIs. So the door knocking, if someone was home, if someone was not home, someone who said yes and they made a sale, someone who said they weren't interested, someone who said come back when the husband gets back home, someone to maybe stay away from that's kind of a crazy Karen. All the things, I had the CRM set up where they could knock doors, mark it, I could see it, they could see it. We could actually track like the data behind our sales and we could improve and analyze that way. And from there, we did our 8 a.m. sales calls every day where guys got on the phone, we role played, we watched recorded sales videos, we would ask questions, we would do different training methodologies and have different guys lead and give their different perspectives on handling objections and taking a customer from a no or 3 or 4 no's to maybe they're open to the sale, to you get them right to the edge. We lead them down the sales process where all they need is like a gentle push to let us do the work for them. We began to meticulously train every day and practice so that guys were prepared and they knew what to say and they knew how to not be reactive when someone freaks out at the door and says, oh no, my husband does it. It's like, yes sir, that's why I'm here. I'm trying to keep all the husbands off the ladder this year. I'll just be 20 seconds and I'll kind of just let you know what we're doing. Stuff like that. We really wanted to get good at persuading the clients to let us do the work, and we took the training really, really, really seriously at a high level, and the guys who stuck around really actually bought in and they got some really good takeaways, life lessons. They made a little bit of cash as well, and it was actually a lot of fun. The next thing I did was I made sure and hired, about 3 full-time technicians so that they could handle like all the job fulfillment each day. I made sure they had all the equipment they need. At the time, we were running like a big 15-passenger van, which was actually logistically very challenging. We called her the Pearl. It was a bit troublesome to get all the work done. However, we quickly graduated or migrated into like work trucks that I bought pretty cheap, got them wrapped, and we put all the window cleaning equipment, all of our expensive water-fed, or all of our expensive pure water tank systems, expensive water-fed carbon fiber poles, hose reels, tanks, hoses, brushes, traditional squeegee ladder, all the equipment that guys would need, shoe booties, towels, knick-knack things to make sure that they were like prepared and had the resources to get the work done properly. We were off and running pretty quick. The way the routes would work from there to actually sell the jobs, around this time it was early spring, going into summertime. And so, some guys would get off of school and go knock in the afternoon if they were in like high school or college or whatever. Some guys were out of school and they would go from like midday to like 6 p.m., 8 p.m., which is what we call like prime time, like 4 to 8, where everyone's home and in a good mood because we picked up the kids from school, yada, yada, yada. One of the key things I did was I made sure not to put any time constraints on anyone. And my thought process behind this was I wanted the guys to be like internally motivated to where I could make it make sense for them that if they put a like calculated amount of input, like with time and effort, energy, then they had a greater chance, a more desirable outcome as far as like getting high commissions, getting paid like a good paycheck, and kind of helping scale the business that way. And then, the thing we would do is we would sell the jobs, but we'd actually we wouldn't like clean anything on the same day. What we did was instead we would book out like 1, 2, 3, up to, you know, like a week out ahead of time in advance so that the jobs were already in the schedule and we could just go take care of them starting first thing in the morning. We were able to successfully do this by never actually cleaning any jobs on the same day, but instead we took 5 to 10 to 15 minutes to actually pop the screens off the house with screen tools, and homeowners would let us come inside to pop them off. We would pop off the screens to prevent anyone from canceling, because basically they were already invested at that point, so we would have like very few cancellations, and if someone wanted to leave like one window open at night, it wasn't really an issue. We'd just leave that one in. But this way we were able to kind of hold the spots, have like a projection, and this way it takes kind of the pressure off where you don't have to like try to sell and clean as much as you can by like 8 p.m. This way we could have like an actual more of a set schedule where guys could start at like 8 and be done at like 6. So that's what we did as far as selling and prepping the houses, also so that when the technician would arrive, it would basically, the house would already be prepped and we could really expedite the process that way so that we could be in and out of the property like as soon as possible. We also, not right away, but pretty soon in the middle of the season, would sell our subscription services and have people like give their signature for our like contract agreement to have us come out on subscription seasonal plan. And you know, a lot of times we would either do this before we would even do the clean. A lot of the times when people would just trust us and we would build enough certainty for them to, you know, let us do the work. Other times we would just follow up afterwards like, hey, yeah, if you sign up too, you can, you know, have a little incentive for the customer, and say, hey, call them the next day. Hey, did you guys want to go ahead and get signed up before we send you the invoice to take care of? Cool, I'll send you the link. You'll just initial, you'll get a copy of your welcome email. And yeah, welcome to the neighborhood where you're new guys. So we would sell our subscriptions that way and slowly build the asset of recurring book of business, recurring revenue that way. And then essentially we would set this to like auto bill the customers 12 months, 6 months, quarterly, whatever, monthly, so that it would just auto bill them. We still call them like 2 weeks ahead of time to schedule them in the system, and then that way it's just kind of takes care of the customers that way. We don't really have to worry about it, and you know, it's kind of the easiest way for us to serve them because we've done like several hundred and thousand customers this year. If we have to like play catch up and tag on every single job, it would just be too ridiculous. So we just made sense for the customer to say, hey, look, imagine if you had to take a credit card out every time I wanted to pay for Netflix each month. This way we do auto bill you. If your target month is early March or April or whatever, it'll bill you April 1st, and we'll still call you 2 weeks ahead of time to actually schedule you, and we kind of take care of you guys that way. It's just super simple and y'all don't have to worry about it. And then you also get some perks with like no processing fees, priority booking, things like that we would incentivize the customers to go ahead and accept that agreement, and we can just kind of like auto bill and schedule them out accordingly. And so like this time of year right now, we're actually getting to like service like a bunch of repeat customers for like the second time, like folks who are on like a 6-month cycle. It's like fall, and you know, we're already seeing the success and kind of the reality of what we've created. And you know, last week I did a guy for the 3rd time this year already, inside and out of his property, and so it's becoming more realistic for us to build our business this way, and it's about to get really busy for a whole bunch of repeat customers that we did in the springtime. And so yeah, we're kind of heading towards the tail end of the season-ish, hoping to be somewhere around 500K like by the time it's all said and done in total revenue for the year. Not bad for large one, and we have a very large projection on like the repeat customers, and we're hoping to take care of pretty much all of them before like it gets too crazy with the weather this winter. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. Some of the top lessons I learned have been, one, whatever you're selling or providing, make sure you take care of your people and treat them accordingly. You know, for me, it's not really about like cleaning windows. It's about, hey, how can I find a problem and attempt to provide a solution? And how can I do that at a high level while also giving like world-class customer service and doing things kind of the right way and treating people accordingly? If you can provide a high-level solution, people will pay you to do that. So that's kind of one of the big takeaways that I've learned. The second thing that I've learned is don't chase money. Money too quickly attained is usually like more of a net negative than it is a net positive, usually. Instead, don't focus on the money and the profits and the revenue, but instead focus on reinvesting and building your asset so that one day it can work for you, you can buy back your time, and you can actually work on your business, scale it, grow it, and not work in your business. That's the second like kind of takeaway that I have thus far. The money that you earn too quickly is really not gonna last you. And if you don't reinvest it into your asset, then kind of gonna be screwing yourself in the foot anyway. The third thing I learned was expect to make mistakes. If you think that you're never gonna make mistakes, and this is very cliche, then you're wrong. You know, everyone says that. But realistically, I would take it a step further. You should actually expect and look forward to the mistakes to happen, because you can actually treat them as gained XP and a net positive, because how else do you expect to learn and grow and scale your business without making mistakes? You just walk through it perfectly and make the right choice every single time? Probably not. So expect those bad things to come. The mishaps, the late employees, the guys who no call, no show, the customers who cancel, the work truck that, you know, needs something fixed on it. Like, expect those things to happen. Expect, you know, customers to say no. Expect it to happen so that when it does happen, you're already like prepared for that, and you're never reactive in the moment, and you're just calm, cool, collected. You know how to handle it, and you can actually have a net positive like impact from the negative experience and the kind of mistakes that you've made. One of the top mistakes that I made early was not realizing that I'm at the mercy of my employees. So very important to make sure that you over communicate. You're always training, continued improvement, continued communication, over communication, hiring quickly, firing even faster, setting the expectations so that you know and your employees know that they need to get it, they need to want it, and they need to have the capacity to do it. If they can't check those three things off, then you might have to move on and find someone else quicker. And part of this also is not allowing yourself to think that you like need the worker or employee, but having like the mindset where you actually like make it seem as if you don't need them, because in reality you don't. You can always find more people willing to work. Not to say that you're aiming to have like a high turnover or anything like that, but you want to have the ideology of like, hey, I don't need you. Like, do you want to be here or not? No one's forcing you. Here's my terms. You want to work? Cool. I'll support you and give you your resources. But at the end of the day, like I said, if they don't have the capacity to do the job or can't communicate, you need to let them go sooner rather than later. And I probably made that mistake, keeping guys too long, thinking that I needed them to do the work. In reality is like, I can hire more people, or I can find more people with experience, because there's a ton of people out there willing to like work really hard. Second mistake, learn to say no. Learn to say no if a job is not worth the time. So yeah, you could get a sale because someone wants a super stellar deal, and you know, don't tell like some of your neighbors because I didn't charge them this much or that much, whatever. Learn to say no. If a job's not worth your time, it's actually costing the company money in opportunity cost loss. You're actually losing money in opportunity costs when you don't say no, versus the time you could spend with a customer who actually is willing to pay you what you're worth. So actually turn down work, and don't think you need to take on every single job or every side project, or, you know, pull all the weeds and clean all the gutters if you don't clean gutters, and, you know, I can paint your front door and like fix your bicycle and fix the flat tire. Like, no, don't do that. Say, hey, look, I can't do this service, it's out of my realm, but I could probably point you in the right direction if you give me some time to find someone to help you. That's the best thing that I've done with people. And the third thing is that the mistake that I've learned is not realizing or adjusting, knowing that people are going to try to take advantage of you or discourage you. And that could be oftentimes people within close proximity to you, family, friends, employees, customers. They'll try to take advantage of you. Customers will try to like make you do extra work, or not pay you the full amount of what you're due. Or, you know, employees will take advantage of your kindness, or, you know, say they're gonna, you know, work hard and show up every day and communicate really well, and then next thing you know, they're not doing it, and it's like, oh, wait a second, like, he told me he was gonna do this, now it looks kind of different, what gives? So as soon as you start to like have some of that success, there will be people in all shapes and sizes and variations and different like capacities that will try to discourage and take advantage of you. Be wary of that. Have your antenna up. You don't have to be like rude. You could still be like kind and nice and have grace for people, but you're running a business. You got to act accordingly, because at the end of the day, no one's going to run this for you and treat it the same way that you will. And they don't have your best interests at heart. Only you do. So make sure that you don't let people push you over in certain scenarios where they might be able to do something like that. And that's something I could have picked up on a little bit quicker too as well. Plans and aspirations. So my short-term plan in the next 3 years is I want the company to be $1 million company in like recurring revenue. We'll probably hit that next year in year 2. maybe new revenue. I want to make sure that I'm clear when I say I want my goal to be recurring revenue. So I'm planning for that by year 3 to be $1 million recurring company, and scale it to that level within the 60-mile radius of like proximity that I live in. And I really just want to have a 7-figure projection by year 3. The other plan or goal that I have is that I want to use this whole off season to work on the operating systems, to put in place all the people and the frameworks for the EOS systems that will allow me to work on my business, not in my business. So all off season, I'm going to be working really hard at putting managers in place, onboarding and hiring like sales reps so that they can, do that work. And so that way I can focus on growing into maybe like a 3rd and 4th location, or I guess into growing a 4th location, maybe in a 3rd state, and continue to improve my business that way and not have to work in the business, because my time is valuable and I really want to buy back my time so that I can scale the company. This includes things like I want to put the systems in place for, onboarding, service, sales, payroll, and management. All those things, just so I don't have to wear all the hats at once and try to do multiple people's jobs. I'd rather pay people to do those jobs so that I can grow the company. And yeah, this is everything I've done to this point, guys. In the next video, I'm going to show you like a full behind the scenes kind of edit of a nearly 5-figure LED like lighting sale that we got, all stemming from a door knock. And we're probably going to clean our windows too every year on a big house, and what kind of the end product looked like. So start to finish, the whole sale, behind the scenes. We mic'd up, we got permission to video and at the dinner table, and it's pretty fun stuff. And you guys make sure you check it out. If you like this content, stick around. We're not going anywhere. We're just getting started. Just want to encourage you guys and provide value to you that you can start your own service business or any other business and use the same things I've implemented. So other than that, we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.